Okay, so in front of a Levi Stadium, 76,976 people. We had a total of, not that many matches. Being at the ladder match, which was your workhorse ladder match for the IC title. Lots of pretty solid big spot works here and there. Good match, highly competitive, but it felt, again, like your mind to make ladder match, where there's a lot of spots, very little continuity when it comes to the way the match is designed. There's more or less a couple guys get in the ring, a couple big spots, knock out of ring. A couple of guys get in the ring, a couple big spots, a couple big layout moves. I will say the power bomb from Harper to Ambrose through the ladder looked pretty wicked. Only downside is we've seen that spot before. I think we've seen enough ladder matches with multiple people that's hard to do new spots in these sort of matches, but done well, highly competitive. I did like seeing Ziggler and Bryan do a headbutt spot on the top of the ladder. Thought that worked pretty well. Of course, Daniel Bryan became your champion, which was good, worked well. Orton, Seth Rollins, nice match, great back and forth, fantastic back and forth. Cena go from gotta go with my power slam. No, I'll go with my curb stomp. Catch you in midair into a power slam. Good. I will say I like Orton's second rope DDT that he does. It's like Hangman style DDT. I do like that he's found a new way to he ran with Rollins, threw Rollins to the middle rope, and then did it. It was nice. Saw a kick out from an RKO, kick out from a curb stomp. Ending saw Rollins go for the curb stomp. Orton popped up with him, shot him into the air, and just hit him on RKO coming down. I will still say the second best RKO that he's ever done. First, still by far, is the Evan Bourne shooting star RKO. Triple H Sting. I will say this is a problem with doing outdoor venues. Sting loses a lot of his mystique in full sunlight. But nothing says the Stinger like a Japanese drum corps. And then Triple H came out as the Cyborg King of Kings, with a heavy emphasis on Terminator, with T-800 models rising from the ground, as a partially cybernetic King of Kings came down to the ring. This match had 101 years of wrestler in the ring, so you can tell it needed some help. It's also a no DQ match. Sting was getting the upper hand, and then, break it down, the DX Army hit the ring. Sting's now facing the DX Army and Triple H. Though while later in the match, NWO music hits. So you now have the NWO and DX kind of fighting on the outside of the ring. Didn't do a lot of moves because they're all really old. With Sting and Triple H battling on the inside of the ring. Sting, Triple H, and the Scorpion Deathlock. Shawn Michaels comes in, super kicks Sting. This match was so marked out and booked. It was you're not going to care who's going to win because we're going to have the NWO, we're going to have DX, they're going to be fighting. We got Shawn Michaels attacking Sting, we've got sledgehammers, baseball bats, we got everything you want in this match. With Triple H taking a broken sledgehammer, nailing Sting, getting the 1, 2, 3. It was good to see an older guy put a younger guy over. Yes, I know it'll be full of Golden Shovel references, but let's be honest. Are you going to let the WCW guy who punked Triple H at Fastlane, Survivor Series, so he's already beaten him twice, essentially. Just lost in the one match. And it took Triple H and 4 other people to beat him. And a sledgehammer. I mean, it's a decent way to lose a match like that, Overly booked, smoke and mirrors everywhere, just the mark god smiled. And it was an entertaining match. As they threw in just more and more stuff at it, you can tell after the point where it was how's this match going to end? It's going to be a battle royal, they're not going to get involved. But I liked it. I thought that given what they had to work with in the ring, Sting hasn't had a long match in a while. His TNA time, he had short matches. I think doing all that on the outside gave it enough of this massive match feel that it worked out pretty well. So how do you follow that matchup? Bellas versus AJ Page. Bellas take AJ out very early on in the match. So you know how this match is going to end. Page controlling this against both Bellas, binds the hot tag to AJ. AJ gets Nikki Bella to tap. The match was decent. I think it got a horrible spot in the card. You had your two massive workhorse matches. You had one of your big main event sort of matches that had huge old school WCW versus WWF wrestlers going on with it. Just insane. Then your Divas match. They did a good job. So the match work. I've been kind of sick, that's why I sound like I've been smoking 2 packs a day. And then Rusev comes down with a tank and cannons and Lana dressed in white and the Russian flag and soldiers. Then John Cena comes out to essentially like, Republican, we're gonna kick your foreign butt, America. The only way it could have been any more American would have been John Cena came out in red, white, and blue, and Medusa, Thunderblaze, was driving him down to the ring in a monster truck. I was hoping that was going to happen. They got back to the crowd live, USA, USA. The moment his music hits, he goes, USA, boo! Just amazing. That was awesome. Rusev came out looking like $1 million. Until he runs into Lana, who threw her shoe in the ring for some reason. AA from Cena, 1, 2, 3, Cena new champ. Cena threw out a new move, a second rope back bump into stunner? What the Fuji? Rusev came to the top with a sick looking diving headbutt. John Cena broke the Accolade as well as was the first person to defeat Rusev. I think breaking the Accolade alone would have been well. They could have done like he broke the Accolade, then he could use the shoe and hit John in the back with it, and then had John pass him or hit John in the face, give a little bit of blood, and then tear the Accolade. There's ways they could have done to have John not win the match, but still have a big moment. But now he broke the Accolade and defeated Rusev. So, second year in a row at WrestleMania, John does not want to put over younger talent. Now we need to see how Rusev recovers, or if he gets written down the ring like Wyatt. Undertaker, Wyatt. Wyatt comes down to the ring. He's reanimating scarecrows as he's going down to the ring. Would have probably looked pretty awesome had it not been partial dusk. His lantern doesn't really showing very well. Again, this is the problem with the outdoor stadium. Certain people who have more mysticism to them are not impressive. Taker came down, still some sunlight. But he looked super healthy. Taker was in fantastic shape. Last year looked like he was done. This year looks like he still has some gas up in the tank. A decent match, nice back and forth. I think that Wyatt's ground and pound style worked pretty well with Taker. Taker going to be in a striker. So you had 2 brawlers. All in all, not a bad match. We saw Sister Abigail. It was not as crisp as it should have been, but it worked pretty well. Some tombstones, choke slams. At the end, Taker got the victory. Nothing against Wyatt. I think he did a good job leading up to the match. He came out looking pretty good in the match, but Wyatt is now 0-2 at Mania. It's going to be okay, well, how does Wyatt bounce back from here? He came out looking decent in this Jericho feud, but didn't really seem to go over very well. He didn't really go over in a feud with Cena. The feud with Kane he went over, but didn't really go anywhere afterwards. He didn't go. He went over in his feud with Bryan, but it didn't seem to really go anywhere. He went over in his feud with Dean Ambrose. It didn't really seem to really lead anywhere or go anywhere. So it seems like he's a phenomenal wrestler and a great performer with no creative backing at all. I know I've gone off sequence, but Triple H and Stephanie were in the ring, talked about how amazing things are and how it's all thanks to them. Which led to The Rock coming down and eating time so the sun could set more before the Wyatt Undertaker match. Steph slaps Rock, you can hit me? You can hit me? And he's like, no. He then brings in Ronda Rousey, who's about to announce her out to the ring, wearing a "It's Over 9,000" shirt because she's a nerd, which was awesome. Crowd's going nuts. Rock beats up Triple H. You can tell Ronda Rousey gets a kind of like a standing, just hooks her arm, doesn't go for an armbar, and you can tell Steph is kind of like, I'm not going to do anything. Then she let it, just her just kind of knocks it out of the ring. Works pretty well. I guess they're leading up into potentially next year trying to Rock Triple H. They get to not break another indoor attendance record. So that's a good segment. Got the crowd nice and pumped. Now our main event. Roman Reigns and Lesnar. They screwed up Lesnar's pyro. I mean, it is. A couple of seconds later, his pyro went off. Roman Reigns fisted the earth, and then a couple of seconds later, his pyro went off. So pyro was off by a couple seconds. 30 seconds into the match, we saw an F5, and Lesnar was now in the process of reliving SummerSlam. And then Roman Reigns would get in a couple of moves, and then, Lesnar would just hit him with a suplex. So, a decent amount of back and forth, with it predominantly being Lesnar, like 85% of the match, just Lesnar's whooping the crap out of Roman Reigns. They go outside the ring. Lesnar toying with Reigns like, I'm going to throw him into this ring post. Reigns reverses. Lesnar hits hard. Begins to bleed. Bloody Lesnar takes 1, 2, 3 Superman punches. 1, 2 spears. Then hits an F5. And everyone's like, this is it, this match is over. It's like a third F5 on Reigns. Again, my throat's screwed up and all that. Rollins comes down, cashes in. Throws Reigns out of the ring. Hits a curb stomp on Lesnar. Goes for a second curb stomp. So if you're keeping track on Lesnar head first in the ring post, is just gurgling blood. Took 3 Superman punches, 2 spears, a curb stomp, and he's still moving. Goes for a second curb stomp. Rollins gets caught in midair by Lesnar, going for another F5. Reigns hits one of the most devastating looking spears, because it wasn't like it was like, dang. Like 2 dead guys like slam into each other, knocks them down. Neither one of these guys can move. Reigns is kind of stern. Big curb stomp, Rollins on Reigns. 1, 2, 3. They then pan to the 4 guys who were pissed that Roman Reigns didn't win. The rest of the crowd was just going nuts. They're like, oh my god, like it happened. It was a cash in at WrestleMania. And you can tell Rollins is just like, he makes a beeline. He's like, I'm the champ. I am the champ. Where's the champ? The champ's here. Here is the champ. Here is the champ. Which sets up a lot of great things. And this way now, Lesnar doesn't need to show up for a little while. Lesnar can be like, you guys screwed me. The only way you can tell me is by not pinning me. Then you can come back like SummerSlam. You just whoop the crap out of Roman Reigns for whatever reason he feels like. So, the main event was actually booked very well. It made Lesnar look ridiculously strong. And of course it made Roman Reigns look like John Cena. Just with a better lineage. Now I know I'm going to hear that I brag on Roman Reigns a lot. Here's the sad thing. Joe Inoue, or Inoki, depending on how to pronounce it, has such a phenomenally compelling story. Roman Reigns does not. It's like Rocky Maivia. Rocky Maivia, compelling story. Didn't work well. When he became The Rock, now also the charisma of the compelling story made sense. They don't talk about Roman Reigns as Joe Inoue. They don't talk about the lineage that he has. They don't talk about that. At the red carpet event, before Hall of Fame, they let Joe be Joe, and dang it, it was great. I was like, if they let him speak the way he did there, there's a little level of humility, there's a level of humbleness, there's just this fantastic, I'm doing this, my family is here, I've got this massive wrestling family, it's in my blood. He would have so gotten over the hardcore fan. But they chose to not do that. They chose to be like, it's one thing I saw, a lead that, and he got to be in the main event, looked ridiculously out of place. Lesnar seemed like he was showing up for the easiest massive payday of his life. Flat out owned Roman Reigns. And then Rollins cashes in. Who's he going to pin? Reigns. Not Lesnar. She knew to pin Lesnar. No. Lesnar at that point in time would have taken 3 Superman punches, and a second curb stomp. Probably still would have kicked out. But Reigns, no. Reigns, 3 F5s. The curb stomp, yeah, that takes him out.